Good morning. We are here bright and early at the Ticket and Transportation Center. We have a really exciting plan for today.
Oh yeah, we're doing the Keys to the Kingdom tour.
We are. So we obviously can't do a lot of video because most of it's like backstage and stuff. But what we're going to do is after we do the tour, we're going to pick a couple of our favorite things. We're going to walk around the park and tell you some of those favorite things that we learned on the tour, some of the facts and stuff. So we don't want to, yeah, spoiler alert. We don't want to spoil it too much, but we want to give you a little taste of what that tour holds. So let's go.
This is the breakfast crowd. A lot of people. This is the tour crowd. Like a couple of us. Alright, so included with the tour is also lunch at Pecos Bill. And I'm having the rice bowl.
Alright, so we just signed in. I said alright, so, but let's just pretend I didn't. We got our name tags here, so you see they've got our name on them. And then we also got our listening devices. So let's do like an unboxing video. So there it is. You wear it around your neck, and there's your earpiece. Pretty exciting. It's so you can hear your tour guide when you're out in the park. If you've never seen the tour groups, they wear the earpiece so they can hear their tour guide.
We are all ready to go, and our tour is about to leave, and we can't do any videotaping or picture taking or anything. So for us, we'll see you in a few hours. For you, we'll see you in a couple seconds.
We just got back from our tour, and as soon as we walked back onto Main Street, Keisha got stopped by Disney Research, which is like her favorite thing in the world. Every time we walk past them, she like mutters under her breath, like, please stop me, please stop me, please stop me.
I do, and I like linger by them, like, I want to answer your questions.
So we got stopped last time we were here, and now we got stopped again. I also, while we were on the Keys to the Kingdom tour, got an email from Disney about my visit to Animal Kingdom. So I don't know what that was about. I didn't talk to anyone yesterday, but I'm excited to see what that is. But yeah, so we're back from the tour, so we wanted to show you guys and tell you a couple of things that we learned while we're on the tour. So we're walking over to...
Yeah, so if you don't want to know anything, stop the video now.
Oh yeah, there's still a chance.
We're not going to give away a lot of things, just our 3 things that we personally found the most interesting. But I would definitely suggest for any of you who are interested in like kind of behind the scenes and some of the details. I had more fun learning about the details than anything else. I would definitely suggest you take the tour. So let's get started.
So one of the cool things that we've probably all seen before but never paid much attention to is the upper levels of windows all the way down Main Street here all have names and stuff on them, and it's supposed to be like the opening credits for a movie. And so as you come into the hub, which I'll turn around to give you some reference here. So castle is there. You walked in from the entrance down there. The very last one over here on this building, I'll have to see if I can zoom in so you can see it, but that's Walter E. Disney there. And what that basically signifies is that he's the director. That's the last thing that rolls in the credits before you enter into the park to have your experience of the day. So pretty awesome. Right here overlooking the hub. He's the last name you see when you're walking out. Pretty cool.
Interesting was the detail level all the way down to the foliage and as you transition land. So we're transitioning, we're over by Crystal Palace, and we're transitioning from Main Street USA over into Adventureland. So everything on this side of the building starts out very Main Street USA. So it's all, the foliage is rose bushes, it's like very traditional architecture, and then as you move over, necessarily part of Main Street USA. And then the awning on this, there's awning on this side of the building to kind of cover you from the heat of like the jungle. And as you get deeper in, the foliage is all jungle and Adventureland, and now all of a sudden you're immersed and separate from Main Street.
So we learned a couple of cool things about the Jungle Cruise. One of those things was, well, first of all, the original attraction in Disneyland, Walt wanted there to be live animals, but they didn't have space to house the animals. So they went with the audio animatronics, and originally the skippers spouted off like facts, like weights of the animals and where they live and stuff like that. But after the Jungle Cruise skipper started to get bored of that, there was one kid who was kind of telling jokes, and when Walt got word of it, he was really disappointed. So he went out to experience it for himself, got a chance to ride with the kid, heard some jokes, got some laughs, and thought this might work. So he tasked someone with creating some jokes for the Jungle Cruise. It's funny because a couple weeks ago, Keisha and I rode the Jungle Cruise, and we had a conversation like, I wonder when this started. Like, did they intend for it to be a cheesy thing in the beginning when it started? Or did that like form over time? Or were they just like, they used to be relevant jokes, and now that she's like, we weren't really sure what it was. So it's cool to kind of hear the backstory of that, to hear that Walt just liked some kid's idea and turned it into his own and made the Jungle Cruise what it is today. So we learned some really cool facts about this area over here. So back there is Frontierland, and over here is Liberty Square, which is basically like Philadelphia. So you're really crossing the country. Look at this. What are you doing? Hey! All right, so over in this area, we just crossed over there while we were talking to the bear, the Little Mississippi, and then we have this area here. This building is supposed to look like it is from Missouri, and so it's kind of the center point of the U.S., which is really cool. The gateway to the west. And then you have this brown line down the middle of the street. So that is basically a sewer, which this is supposed to be like colonial United States, and so that represents the lack of a sewer system. They used to just throw their, I don't know, latrines, their waste throw out into the road, and there was like a gutter that basically carried it to the nearest body of water. So that is what this like small cobblestone path down the middle of Liberty Square is representing. So also to keep the theming of that, there are no bathrooms in Liberty Square. There are 2 restaurants that are required by law to have bathrooms in them, and they're in the corner of those buildings that touches another land, and so they're technically not part of Liberty Square. But pretty cool stuff here.
So we're here in Liberty Square, and as you guys know, one of the centerpieces of this land is this giant tree. It's right across from the bell, the Liberty Bell there. And so interesting information here. Walt handpicked this tree to go into this land, and of course we all know he passed away before Magic Kingdom opened. So they took care of this tree and took care of the tree until it was ready to go in this giant planter that it's in. And when they brought it over, they were afraid that the bridge was bowing, and so one of the people on the truck helping hold in the tree like screamed, and so the driver punched the gas instead of the brake, and the tree fell off the truck. And so of course everyone went into mass hysteria, and they were able to through some of their, I guess they were agricultural biologists or something, engineers, they were able to take samplings of the trees that were near it where they were growing it and graft this tree back together because it was broken, because they had to have the one that Walt had handpicked to go here in Liberty Square. So it's interesting. And also hanging from the tree are 13 lanterns. You can see some of them there. Most of them you can see there in the sky between where the Muppets do their show in the tree that represent the 13 colonies. So that's very interesting information.
So we're walking through Fantasyland now. We did learn a lot of cool stuff about the Haunted Mansion, and then we learned a lot of cool stuff about the Prince Charming's Regal Carousel as well. So we'll save some of that for when you guys get to do the tour yourselves. But we entered the Utilidor through one of the stores here in Fantasyland, and then it dumped us back out on Main Street. We're gonna walk up that way now. So that was it. That was the Keys to the Kingdom. There's a lot of stuff we didn't share with you guys. It's a 5-hour tour. And it did include lunch, 2 attractions. So we got to experience Haunted Mansion and Jungle Cruise. Yeah. And they did give us bottled water at the beginning too. Keisha, what was the cost?
The price was $99 a person before tax, but it is eligible for some discounts. So I would double check on that when you call to book. We did get a discount on it, so it wasn't quite that much. But I think overall worth it. I would suggest do it earlier in the day. They do it every 30 minutes. For like the first bit of the day. Our tour was the first one. It was 8 a.m. and it was pretty nice, like, because it wasn't super hot, because you are walking outside for most of it. And you know, there aren't that many shaded areas, so the earlier you do it, the cooler you're in, more comfortable you're going to be, and probably the more in tune you're going to be to what the tour guide's saying. It gets
really hard to pay attention when it's like hot.
When it's 1.5 million degrees.
We did spend the last like 45 minutes in the famed Utilidor.
Yeah, we did.
And so that was really cool to get to experience. So
cool. It was temperature cool and it was cool.
Yeah.
Like content.
Yeah, definitely. So make sure, if you guys don't already, follow us on Instagram at Bear Necessities. And we hope you liked the video today. Make sure you comment down below if you've ever done Keys to the Kingdom, or if you want to do it in the future. Like the video and subscribe to the channel so the Bear Necessities of Life will come to you. See you guys next time.
Bye.
We've made a friend. Still here.